I'm Tamara Jasmine, and I'm single. Crazy, right? But I'm not the only one. I decided to call some of my single friends to get some of their thoughts on the millennial dating culture. Get ready to learn, definitely argue, and laugh. Welcome to the Solo Society.
Hello, and thank you for watching Jasmine Soiree. So, as I was at home contemplating on why I am single, I realized that I had so many single friends. So, I decided to bring us all together to have a conversation about what's going on within our dating culture. So, what I'm going to do is open up the floor to introductions. I want you to give your name, your occupation, and what do you think your setbacks have been in dating. Also, surprisingly, we have a wild card in the room. And that is the person that is in a relationship that's here to drop a little gems to us. So let's start with our introductions.
Hello, I'm Breeza Nunn, and my occupation is a program coordinator. My struggle with dating would probably be people being consistent.
Hello, my name is Crystal Browning. I've been in the military for 18 years. An owner of Boss Lady Boutique. And I think my struggles is previous experiences, and now I'm just kind of focused on my career.
Good. Hey, I am Nick. I am a DJ, and my struggle is probably because I'm a DJ.
I'm Courtney Johnson. I'm in finance, and I'm a nursing student. And I would say my struggle is I love hard. And I think that scares guys off, and then they decide to see if the grass is greener, but they always come back.
Oh, they do come back.
I'm Andre. I'm in medical sales, and I'm the wild one.
I am Delisa Smith, but I go by Dee Dee. I am in IT sales, and the reason why I am single is because I'm crazy.
Oh, thank you for your honesty, my sister. Thank you for that.
Let's get another
Okay.
crazy shit out of it.
Quentin Stevens. I am in reentry. I help clients who have challenged backgrounds. I think I'm single because of the expectations that I sometimes put on women when it pertains to how I want to be treated and why I feel like my son should be treated.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
My name is Charty Era. I work at a law firm and also with fashion. I would probably say I'm single because I don't put up with a lot of bullshit.
Snap.
Yeah, my name is Chandrell. I'm in the healthcare industry, and I can say I'm single because I was in a long-term relationship for 17 years, so I was kind of late in the game.
Yeah. My name is April. I'm a testing analyst, and I would say I'm single because of honesty. You know, some people say they have something going on or they don't have anything going on, and it's just the consistency and just being honest.
Hi, my name is Mika Alexis. I'm a marketing consultant. One of the reasons why I'm single is because I refuse to settle, and because I'm just waiting on my Prince Charming from the Lord above. We'll bring him.
Hi, I'm Robbie Walker. I'm an aspiring singer, and I choose to be single because I'm on a self-love journey.
And I'm a Carlos Carpenter. I'm a former. I have a logistics company, and I'm probably single because of the lifestyle of being a promoter.
My name is Terrence Williams. I'm a firefighter. I'd say I'm probably single because of past experiences, past relationships, and just having trust issues, I'm guessing.
Hey, my name is Osiris Bali. I'm single because I'm not married. I feel like we're all single until we decide to make the decision. So I'm an artist and an activist.
All right, I'm Terry. I'm a personal trainer, and I'm single because I just love women.
Oh.
My ex-wife, she wasn't having that, so that's why I'm single.
Wow.
Wow.
Honest?
Honestly. Okay.
That's really a hard to follow behind him. Ty Haney, I'm an operation leader in the healthcare industry. I think that dating for me is just really people have a perception of they know who you are, but they really don't.
I'm Rev. I'm in the field of education. I know the original question was like, what would my struggle be? What struggles I might have for why I'm single? But honestly, I don't have any struggles regarding my being single. It's a choice for me. I would like to take a stab at it God's way. Literally date without intercourse, with just communication, good communication, so that she can become my best friend. So I'm enjoying being single and doing it God's way.
All right.
Yeah.
Amen.
Here,
say after that.
nothing.
Last but not least, my name is Darius Walton, and I do a lot of marketing and branding. I would say I'm single because of lack of reciprocity and not being able to understand the entrepreneurial dynamics of my lifestyle is really hard for women early on. So, yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
doing.
Thank you all for your honesty. Okay, so let's get to it. The first question that I'm going to drop are, what are your expectations in a relationship? Anybody, not everybody.
What Darius was talking about on reciprocity, and I have a 9-year-old son, and him and I come in a package. So in order to love me, you have to love my son as well. And just be real with me. I'm a big girl, and a lot of people don't know how to be real.
I would have to say, Terry, definitely respect is key. And then we got to be equally yoked. So I believe in God. I need him to believe in God. And then loyalty. Honey, be loyal. I don't have time for all that cheating and stuff. Those are the 3 things that I need. And then sexual-wise, some kind of chemistry needs to be there too.
Chemistry needs to be there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to copy and bounce off of what they said as it relates to respect and loyalty and physical attributes. A lot of that's relative. And I think that early on, we don't really establish what that means to the partner or what that means to self. I think that's where a lot of confusion comes in.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna chime in on that. Even if they have all that, they're still not satisfied with that. So just be honest, they can have loyalty and see that, hey, they understand that, hey, we know what the consequences is going into that relationship. It's like it's not enough. So what for me is, what is enough? That's the question.
That's what I was going to say. Not enough for who?
Yes.
Yeah. I like to say, my expectations are being emotionally available. A lot of times, men, they claim that they want to be in a relationship, but they're not even willing to do the work, and to open up their heart to accepting someone who's willing to love them. They turn that into something nefarious and ugly, and they turn into something that it wasn't originally intended. So I just need someone who is emotionally available and who is aware of who he is and who he wants to be in a relationship before he pulls the whole "you gonna be my girl" sort of thing,
So I have a question. Let me just say this: who on this panel has trust issues? Okay, so I'm gonna ask this: do you have trust issues because of what someone has done to you, or do you have trust issues based on what you have done to someone else? If you could just talk about that.
Well, to me, it's really kind of hard to explain. I just never had trust. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
I never had trust, and I believe. You gotta show me. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah. Guilty to prove.
What do you mean by show you?
I mean, guilty to prove innocent.
But you.
but not innocent is proven guilty.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw so much over time. You feel me? Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So with me, it's kind of disconnect because I just saw a whole lot.
So your trust issues could stem from your childhood,
right?
Which most of us, I would say, probably the trust issues started early on, even before dating.
Right.
Dad said he gonna pick you up. He ain't come pick you up. Our mama said she was gonna do this. She didn't come do that. Like, not by speaking for you, but I'm just saying a lot of times trust issues start with a kid.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
I don't think he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't think he's
That's
talking
the
about.
I'm saying
that's the root of it.
Sometimes I don't think it stems from just child aspect. I think from if you're dealing with the entertainment aspect, we sometimes forget when we sing of the 4 C's. And the 4 C's, if you talk about trust, is Christ, consistency, communication, and compromise. And there's things that we don't do. So when you don't receive that from the people that you date, and or when you in a lifestyle that those may be in, it's difficult for you to put your trust into somebody if they're not being consistent. And to kind of touch on what T. Haney said, I agree. I mean, because in usual cases, what has happened, and I've dealt with it previously, here recently, is women, they like to say, yeah, I want a good dude, I want a good dude, I want this and I want that. And you have a guy that's being consistent, you have a guy that's communicating, you have a guy that legitimately want to get to know who you are, not just to ask. And then you're not consistent because you say you're too afraid. I'm too afraid to let myself go. Yeah. And in usual cases, nobody's asking you to let yourself go.
But are you willing to compromise and do the work?
Yeah. But see, here's the thing: what constitutes work?
That's right.
What is the work? Because I think that kind of gets
not being so cutthroat. I think with the constitution,
and not being so quick to
because
work.
A lot of times, guys don't want
do the work.
Don't give up so easy.
They're
just so they're over it. They're like, I don't want to deal with this. It's like 1 or 2 times and I'm gone.
I think what winds up happening is work can be labeled sometimes from different people's viewpoint in a different way. To you, work may be, I want you to chase me until I get, until you catch me, I'm going to use you better chase. But for me, work means it's unforced. So what she was saying earlier is we both got that chemistry. A dog knows the difference between being kicked and being stumbled over. So being that the case, I'm not going to continue to keep trying if I know that you're not feeling me. That's counterproductive. And that makes me feel like, I'm jacking you, and that's something I'm not interested in. I love work because I like to actually get to know somebody. But work doesn't mean I'm going to text you forever and you're not going to send me something back. I'm going to text you every day. Here's a verse I'm going to text you. I'm going to be texting you every day. I hope you had a wonderful day this morning. And you can't send me anything, but that's not work. To me, that's you want to chase.
Yeah.
You just want me to chase. And if that's the case, I'm cool with that because a lot of women just want to chase, and I respect it. A lot of beautiful women, they just want to chase. It just sounds good for them to say they want to be.
So, okay, I have a question. Since we're talking about the chase, this is something that I have seen destroy relationships. How does social media affect your relationship? How much of your personal life do you put out for the world to see?
None. And I'm going to say something here because this is, a while ago, the father of my child told me that it wasn't until he started posting me that he was getting people like, hey, how you doing? More inbox action. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you remain a mystery, it's less drama and it's less problems. So for me, none.
So Bria, I saw your hand up.
No, I don't post anything. I don't go out. I don't bother people. Not that I don't want to.
Okay.
Get involved. The social media part, it never goes well. And I'm not going to keep posting. I don't want to be in pictures with people. I'm not in that life anymore. So I'm fine.
You must got a couple of boos.
Okay, so I have a question. T. Will, you in that corner, so I am going to pick on you, sir. So tell me this. What are your thoughts on social media and relationships? Do you think that it's healthy, unhealthy?
It can be healthy, it can be unhealthy. I have to say, you can't really blame social media for relationships. At the end of the day, the person that's posting this stuff on social media should be to blame for the relationship if it was to fail because of something that was put on social media. But a lot of stuff comes because, I know T.I. kind of said it also, it's like people make certain things relevant that shouldn't be relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I might post something and everybody make a big deal out of it. Maybe she made it or somebody else may take it the wrong way or blow it out of proportion. That's kind of how I feel about it.
It literally happened to me.
Yeah.
So I know.
Social media is only
we only put out there what we want people to see.
Exactly.
So social media is our marketing tool, and it's not who we really are. Because if you look at my social media, you see a good time, and you just see the party side.
The best representation.
But you don't see me having a business meeting and really making things happen.
Okay.
I just show you what I want you to see. I show you that I'm out having a great time. I'm having a drink, I'm having a cigar, and that's it. And a lot of times when you're in a relationship or trying to get to know someone goes directly to your social media page and gather a whole profile based off everything that they see. And from that point, before you have a detailed conversation, they've already put guards up in certain aspects of, I'm going to let you get here, but I'm not going to let you get over here. I'm going to let you do this, but I'm not going to let you do this, based off everything that they've seen and off your post. And for me, in the previous time, it's, listen, this is who I am. My social media is simply a marketing tool for what I like to do by day and more what I like to do by night. And you have to get to know the full Andre before you can draw a perspective.
So question. I think we all might want to know, do you post your boo on your social media?
You know what? I dated my fiance for 2 years before I even posted.
So she's posting now.
She's posting now because I knew from previous relationships that as soon as she posts somebody, first thing that my ex or people I used to talk to with their friends are going to say, hey, do you know who he really is? Exactly. And what I did was, with my fiance now, I took time and we got to learn one another, and she got to know who I really am by day and by night, so that when we did post and people came out the woodworks and everything, we already had that bond established. And you can't come out the gate posting people because people attack happy. You know, if you're on social media saying I'm sad, I just lost my job, all this other stuff, people are gonna say, oh, I wish you best luck, best friend, da 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 da. But as soon as you post that you're happy, that's when all hell breaks loose.
The sharks come out.
Can I please speak on that? You know what I'm saying? You got to have a public personality and a private persona. And so when you think about that, you know what I'm saying, you got to build love in private, because ain't nobody gonna be involved in your love but you and that person. So you got to build on that in private, because when you lose it, you can't do nothing but rebuild yourself in private, and can't nobody help you upon that. So you have to think about that, because like when you put it out there for everybody else is gonna be coming at you with how you should feel your relationship should be. But at the end of the day, you're the only one affected by the relationship. So you got to do that on your own.
So I have a question. Why is it that men move on so fast? I mean, quick.
I got it.
No, let her talk. I'm going back.
Okay, I got it. No, seriously. I believe for men, it's an ego thing. Men like to fill voids just like women do. So to men feel the same emotions as women. So they try to fill their void with a different girl and try to and feel their emptiness. So it's an ego thing with men. It's an ego thing. Men want to feel like men want to feel like they still got it after they break up with somebody.
Can
we check that?
You were almost there, right? Cause you were almost there.
I mean,
let me say this though.
Okay.
It's not that we're prideful in filling the void. It's that we miss what we had, so we found somebody else that was giving us what we used to get.
Is
not in no kind of way like.
Is she really?
Well, when it comes to the other head, it's different than this head.
Well,
to be honest,
but what does that mean though?
Like, a few hours of satisfaction is better than 24 hours of crying and being hurt over you.
What does that mean?
Okay, so
did you say?
No, it is a thing like that, though, but women do the opposite of that, though. Because we feel like y'all don't be hurt at all sometimes.
Let me say this. So, women are loyal creatures. I'm not going to say that men aren't, but we're loyal. When we break up with someone, it's usually a lump. I'm just going to ask a question. Women, if you break up with a boyfriend, do you have another boyfriend within 4 months?
No.
Thank you. Okay, so let's say this. How quick do you have sex after your breakup?
I need to you said
Yes.
loyal, so we hold y'all onto a higher pedestal like this.
Okay.
So you can break up and like 4 months later, say you don't actually be with somebody, but like have sex, I guess, in a couple of weeks or something. That kind of, like you said, I ain't gonna say it's ego.
It's trash.
This is not mutually exclusive.
It happens.
Somebody moved on, but somebody having sex is not mutually exclusive.
Exactly.
That's how we kind of see things. That's what we missing each other.
Exactly.
Say, hey, he moved on. No, he just slept with somebody else.
Y'all talking about absolutely. But the difference is that women connect.
Speak up, love.
Women connect the physical with emotion. Like
We do.
One of the ways that we are able to like express our feelings for you is being physical with you. So we see like we've connected to you in that kind of way. So then if we break up and then you go and you have sex with someone within a short amount of time, then we begin to feel like, well, now you're connecting with them too.
Right.
Like, what is that about? Even though men are able to disassociate themselves between that, and I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay. Yes.
Please say it.
We gotta stop. We're gonna stop right there.
Okay, so we're back. We had to cut the last segment because it got a little too spicy in here. So we're moving on to the next topic. By the show of hands, how many people have dated someone that you felt like was a little cray-cray?
Oh, man.
A little.
Okay, so this is my question, and T. Will, I'm gonna start it off with you. You feel like I'm picking on you, but I'm not, bro. Okay, so do you take account? So if a girl acts what you call out of character, do you take accountability for what you might have said or did to her, or do you feel like she's just acting out of character just because she's crazy?
I've learned my lesson over the years, especially when I was a little bit younger, in my 20s, where I had it's possible I could have done such things, I guess,
Okay.
But now I'm just careful with my words, man. So I just be honest, be real, and be upfront from the jump. So therefore, she knows what I expect out of her, what she expects out of me, where we possibly could go, or where we not going at all. You know what I'm saying? You can meet somebody like, I know this not going well, but you want to go out, you want to get to know me, or you want to go have a drink, go out to eat something, that's fine. But if they going past that, no ma'am. Now she take that and then want to take it a step further, and then she get married, we don't take that next level, then that's all right, that ain't on me.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this, Crystal. Do you feel like sometimes men are not always honest with their intentions, and when we act out, they accuse us of being crazy?
Absolutely, they do.
Okay.
But let's see how I want to shape this answer. So I think most times men, they're not all the way honest. They're trying to fill a void, but they end up meeting someone that they actually they're vibing with, but they still have feelings with someone else, and they don't know how to be honest.
Right.
And I think that's the issue a lot of times, when really all they have to do is just be upfront and be honest from the get-go, and go ahead and say, hey, I was in this situation, this is what's going on, so that people they're not caught off guard.
Why do you feel that way?
Because we're selfish.
Right. Exactly.
Well, there's
Taking into.
Yeah.
That's all the honesty.
It's selfish, and it's the mindset of like, I don't want to miss out on something I'm vibing with, even though I'm still hurt by this other person, because like I still care, but nah, like you're really close.
Everybody doesn't want the truth.
Yeah.
And, people always say you can keep it real with me, you can keep it real with me. But me keeping it real with you is gonna hurt your feelings.
Right.
And for guys, once we've learned that lesson for the 10th time, we're not gonna keep it real with you as much as we would like to keep it real with you. Let me tell you something. The keeping the real part about it is this. and I'm going to speak for 95% of the guys. The other 5%, we ain't worried about them. All right. The thing about it is, with the guys, is this: in the day and times that we live in, we go to, when we first meet you, we meet your representative, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then we talk on the phone. Mm-hmm. We get to know you. Then we go to your social media page, and we again gauge who you are based off of that. So with guys, what we normally do is, and I'm gonna tell you for myself especially, it's you go through it, you go through the catalog, and you say, she looked like this today, she looked like this today, she looked like this last week, and you look like 10 different people. For guys, we see that as you are beautiful. But if I date you, that's a bill. That's a bill. Hold on. We don't, and the thing is, we don't know who we gonna get on what day.
So this is the thing. I feel like you are assuming, based on how she looks, how she dresses, how she carries herself, how often she gets her hair done, you're saying that's a bill. But let me just say this. If I can speak for every woman on this panel, every woman here has a good job. But wait. Hold on. But here's the thing. You're judging and you're assuming that it's a bill. You don't know what I have or don't have. You don't know if I have you. You're just looking at me and you're judging.
I'm not saying it's my bill. But what I'm saying is, because if you were doing it prior to, what normally happens is this: when a lady starts dating a man, you want the man. Now you start dating a guy. Now you want the guy to put gas in your car. Right? No. If y'all, hold on. If you go to the gas station, hey, listen, hold on, watch this. Hear me out. If you go to the gas station and you and I are in the car together, do you want me to jump out and pump your gas, or do you want?
You need to get out of real life.
Exactly.
Hold on. Just personally, I don't expect nothing from anybody. If you're not my man, you don't owe me nothing. Okay. But if we pull up to the gas station, just being manly, you need to get out and pump out.
Thank you.
Exactly. I'm not saying you're not supposed to. I'm not saying you're not supposed to.
But I mean, just common courtesy.
But no. What I'm saying is, when you start dating somebody, some of the responsibilities that you take on for yourself,
they shift.
Right or wrong.
Absolutely.
Right or wrong. Right or wrong.
They should. That's part of the role that you
Compromise.
as my man.
Compromise.
No. That we drove into this parking lot and you saw me get out to pump the gas.
That's
You
not a
don't even
compromise.
consider me your woman, because if I was your woman, you're not even thinking twice about that.
What you want to do?
I do that for my female friends, period. But it's my woman at all. So that's a problem.
Okay, hey, when I ring the bell, everybody, hold on. When I ring the bell, everything stops. Everything stops. Okay. I'm gonna let you finish.
Let me finish.
Okay, but we want to be mindful that we have other people.
I'm going to say it real quick. When you are single, you do things that single people do. You go out to eat, you pay your bill, right?
Right.
You go to the gas station, you pump your gas, right? If you need to go get tires in your car, you go get tires put on your car, right?
Right.
But when you start dating somebody, you pull up to the gas station. It's the gentleman thing for a guy to get out and pump your gas. You're not going to tell a guy, I got it, you sit here.
No.
Exactly. But when you go out for a first date, you're not going to say, I normally buy my own food. I got it. Go ahead.
My question would be this, because I understand what you're saying. And I get what you're saying. And I understand what the ladies are saying as well. But wouldn't that be the same as if you dated somebody and we're at a party like this? Wouldn't that be the same as, I guess, for the manly aspect that you pick my plate up or fix my food too? If we look at it from a manly aspect? We're saying yes, but it doesn't happen.
Depends on who you're dating.
But again, what he's saying is it becomes a bill, and that's the bill, not a monetary bill, not a financial bill.
Right.
That's a bill that
I think you're helping him out.
That's the word.
I never got a chance to finish. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that your hair, your makeup, your nails instantly becomes our bill, but what I'm saying is it's a bill in terms of we don't know who we gonna get. Yeah. And when we get it, we don't know what your expectations of maintenance that we're gonna have to help take care of.
Why is that a word?
Right.
Why is that a word?
Right. Why is that ever even a point?
Because, all right, let me tell you this.
We're dealing with a trend.
She's a part of you.
No, watch this.
Okay, so we spending too much time here. So we have to move on. And we have to all be mindful that everybody's on the panel. We want everybody to talk. Yeah. So with that, we're gonna move on. So I have a question. And Los, I'm gonna target this question to you, and then you've been very quiet in the corner, and then T. Haney, I want you to bring it to an end. Dre, you said that you don't know what you're gonna get. This is something that's interesting to me. When a man is attracted to a woman, whether she's in all of her hair and glory, or her makeup, or her heels, that is what you were attracted to, okay? Now, you get in the relationship, and it's like, oh, I want to see your natural state. Now, I'm not saying that it's nothing wrong with a woman being natural and not wearing weave or makeup, but keep in mind, this is how you met her. Do you get what I'm saying? But then you want to change it and tone down something that you originally were drawn to. So can you answer that for me?
Well, you know me, I mean, that's how it is. I mean, as long as they keep it up, it's fine with me.
So it's fine.
It's fine with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as they keep it up.
Okay.
It's not an issue.
It gets really deep.
So you're not willing to assist? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you know, it depends on what level we're on. Like, you know.
Absolutely.
Are you?
It depends on what level we're on. You know, like I feel like in a relationship, if I'm dealing with you, and half of your problems, your bills, like it's just like a marriage. Right. Whatever you bring to the table, we both have to share that.
Okay.
You know, so it just depends on who we are.
You dealing with us, man.
Good job.
Good answer.
Answer.
Come
on. Listen, I don't know what is going on, but it seems like things get heated and then we have to take a break and we have to start again. So we are going to move on to a more fun subject. So let me fix my posture. Ladies, am I standing up?
Yeah, it's
going. Okay, fellas, is my back arch? I want to make sure I'm in the right position.
You sit up straight.
So the question that I'm going to pose to the floor is this: does sex change the dynamics of the friendship?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, you can leave this one off.
Oh yeah.
So if I heard this right, you say does sex change the dynamic of the relationship?
Yes.
So short answer, yes. And the reason why I say that is because before we go into the expectation of when we meet a person, we start off with it as sex. And then, I'm gonna keep it real, most men get more emotional attached to it because it be good to them. But then when we actually show that emotional side of us, the woman think we hooked. But we trying to give you what you want. But on the other side, when a woman get attached for men, hey, we like, man, that mug crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the one piece that we actually miss is that we don't get to know a person. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because we take a one night stand into like, man, we can make this a relationship. And sometimes when you look at a one night stand, it's like, hey, you gotta let that be what it is. But by us being who we are as creatures, men, we be like, man, I want more and want more. And so when a woman see that you come to get those goods, hey, she set those expectations out there like, hey, look, you using my body. You know what I'm saying? Because the body is what? That's the temple. So if we're gonna talk about something real, let's get there. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us on that panel, yeah, we're professionals, but at the same time, we like to have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
And I feel like when a man meet a woman, he meet a woman saying, dang, I need that. You know what I'm saying? When a woman meet a man, she looking at a man and say, I can see myself building a foundation with this man. And so when we come at each other, at different point of view.
So why play?
It's not playing.
Go ahead, D.
It's not playing, it's just understanding each other.
Okay.
What do we come for? What do we come to get? What do we want? And this is a gray area that we play in. Talking, texting,
lunch or dinner, which could be different, right?
Right.
Some guys you want to go do this, some guys you want to go do this. Do I want to marry this guy? Or do I want to?
Exactly.
Do I want to do this with this woman? Or do I want to do? And we can't have those hard conversations there. We don't want to. Be real with each other. We want to have a good time with each other. We don't want to have. Go ahead. Everybody, you do. We all do for that.
But do we do it though?
We don't.
Don't. I think the key is balance, yo, because the game's still gonna get played regardless. Like you're gonna be in a gray area, even if it's this small or like that big. It just depends on how you play it, and it's in the sense of like you gotta be balanced. You gotta be honest enough to let them know who you are, but not so honest that you run them away.
So a good
that's
lie.
what everybody feels here, right?
Right.
Not a good lie, it's a brochure.
So the question
You know when you go to you get a brochure, it's like, damn, this shit looks amazing.
There is no relationship brochure.
If you're not close to your brochure, then that's when the disconnect happens.
But the
right?
question was about connecting, like having
Yeah.
sex. So here's the thing: when a woman, most of the time, when a woman has sex with a man, it's a connection. Like because if it's a real woman, we pride ourselves on our body, and we can't just go around giving ourselves to other people just to have fun because it feels good. Now let's keep it real. So if I sleep with you, you know, it's something more. It's something there. I'm not gonna sleep with you before I know you. Most of the time, it's a little policy. I always say 6 months. Guys will say 6 months. I need to know you. If I don't know you, I ain't got no business giving you me. Because what's connected to you, we exchange it. We exchange souls.
Can we ask every good-looking professional man in this room, do they agree with you with that statement?
I know they gonna say they disagree.
Boom.
I know
That's
that's
not
because
y'all want to just like you want.
yes, we do. Most of the time,
So
we
don't
do.
tell me
But we can hold out.
Okay, hold up.
If I can chime in now, listen, I respect, I talk to Tamara, we talk on the phone sometimes, and we just talk about the respect of diversity of thought. And when you respect diversity of thought, you are more open to different perspectives.
Exactly.
But as we talk about how we can come together, even in our culture, we know our culture is not set that it produces or leverages those type of relationships. Number one, if I'm dating you, I'm dating you for marriage. I don't have time to play games if I am authentic about being upright. So now, regardless to your profession, your whatever your class would be considered, your financial status, when you think about it from a standpoint of, I don't want to date unless it's with someone that I intend to enter a covenant with for the rest of my life. Now that means that that's a whole shift of thinking, because we can all be honest here and say we've entered into covenants that we know that our mindset, we weren't even really sure about who we were as people. So we in the culture permits for us to engage in things that we should have never engaged in. And so now, of course, the way media is today, social media, everything is sex against sex, sex against sex. Woman, hear me roar. When I asked sisters about Sojourner Truth, and I said, what do you know about her? How can you know her and understand your own history and understand it was a black woman that you really can't top her achievement in the United States of America, even beyond any other class of woman. Facts.
But we're talking about connections.
But those connections can't happen. When those connections happen without going into a covenant, then what do you expect to happen? It's almost like a guy that's building a foundation on what? I didn't even date you because I'm thinking about marriage.
From the perspective
He
of
reverend.
Well, I mean, to
No.
be fair, this is coming from someone who is speaking on a perspective of like a reverend, someone who is godly in his intentions. So his ideas on this subject is going to be much different than others who, I mean, they're still of God, they still love God, but they may not be in that place where this man is. Which is,
Go ahead.
it's not right or wrong. It's just different.
Let's let me say
this.
Let me say this. And this is from my point of view, from someone that has recently got engaged, and I've dated a lot. And I've had my fun. And with dating, in this day and time of day, we date fast. We're looking for instant gratification.
Yes.
I need to meet you. I need to know your favorite colors. I need to know all this stuff instant. I don't want to take time on both sides of the field. We don't want to take time to get to learn someone. And I'm here, you're here, and we always want to meet somebody where we're equal at. But we don't want to meet somebody and be like, oh, well, it's going to take you another year or two to get to where I'm at, and I'm going to go through the process. The problem with today's society is this. We don't want to go through the process with anyone. We want the instant gratification. Because if I'm doing well and you're just now starting to try to do well for male or female, some people are like, well, I ain't trying to go through that process with you. I need you to already be there.
Oh, yeah. So I have a question, Bree. You've been quiet. How do you feel about that?
Sex changing the dynamic.
About sex changing the dynamic. Yes, it definitely will, especially for me. But that is not one of those things that's going to make me stick around. Not saying that I'm going to, I'm not going to give myself to anyone sexually that I don't plan to be with. And if I have made that mistake, I'm not going to be that girl that sits in a relationship that no longer serves me well.
It's real. Sex is always going to change the dynamic of it because really, once you have sex with someone, at that very moment, you figure out, okay, this person is good sexually. Oh, watch this. And if they're not good, your emotions really do change because if we put it in layman's terms, once you have sex and you can have more than one partner, your appetite is completely changed. And it's just like, I'm gonna use a guy for if a guy buys a Corvette.
15 seconds.
Got it. If a guy buys a Corvette, he's not gonna go back to a Honda Civic. Because
not true, it depends on the emotional attachment.
I'm saying if a guy starts driving and liking a certain thing, he's not gonna go back because he doesn't want to go through the process of building up to get it.
It depends on the emotional.
I think that we don't understand the fact that sex is relative to everybody. Like they have different perspectives. I can have great sex with you and still be more focused on my career or my family or my goals. Right. So that's what we're different. And you gotta understand that as a
I feel like I have a question.
Okay.
How many of us have been in a relationship because of the sex, though? Okay, then. So y'all know what we're talking about when you say like the sex be good enough to stick around for, but the other shit is not worth it. So, and so what I'm saying is, in all of this is the big picture. I feel like the disconnect is the learning process. Yes. We feel like we know you already, and then when you're not acting like how we already assumed you to act, both sides, that's when you start having this trust issues and all these other things from both sides. Like,
did you have sex prematurely?
Well, maybe not. It might not have been good enough in the first place. But the point is you won't know till you know. And so in a relationship, being in a relationship with if I was to date any one of y'all in here, ladies or gentlemen, but I'm not gay. But either way it goes, it's like you have to understand that you are learning a completely different person.
Okay.
People who have kids know this because they do that.
Honestly, though, you got to think about something. Even when I said this, when I started talking about sex, it's really the expectation what you establish. Once again, hey, a one-night stand is a one-night stand. You have to be realistic and real about yourself. And a lot of us don't be real about it. It's good fine and dandy about the 6 months, and that's your expectation. Because when you be the person that you're sexually attracted to, it's not going to be a 1 month. It's going to be that mutual connection because I have learned over the years that relationships have built over a one-night stand or that first connection of a person. So really it goes back to the mental connection. Point hands down, period.
But how can you have emotional connection with somebody that you sleep with on the first night?
Because you're basing how you feel over a period
of
time versus.
Well, I know some people that got married.
Right.
I do too.
So your question was, how do people what?
So if you have sex on the first night, how do you build a connection in 12 hours, 6 hours?
So you look at the
when you look at a person, you meet a person, you know what you want to do with them from that point.
You don't know nothing about them. You know what they
Yeah.
look like. All you know is what she or he look like, what they smell like. You don't know enough about them to go lay down with them.
You got your mind gonna have your little fun. Right now, you'll see the rest of that.
Take what you can get.
So to answer your question is, so you ask how you know what you're gonna do with that person, right? You don't know, because even when you marry a person for years, you really don't know that person that you marry.
I agree, 100%.
So really, you have to be clear-minded and open about who you're dating, because that's where you cut out the expectation. Because once you learn that person, it's about building, and that's where we forget is the building stage.
Let me say one thing. Questions. If you had sex with somebody on the first night or not, as an adult, and using myself as an example, what I had to do was say, I'm gonna use you as my fiance, okay? I said, listen, you ain't perfect, neither am I, but I'm willing to go through this process. We're gonna go through a process, and every day ain't gonna be good. We gonna argue like we gonna argue like we hate each other, but I'm going through this process. We planning the wedding. 2 weeks ago, we argued like we even know each other. But it's two people coming from two different backgrounds trying to get in alignment. And the way I do things versus the way she does things, this is how we're working right now. And as we go through life, we're going to eventually be in alignment. But the problem is, a lot of times, we don't want to go through the process with somebody.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do the work. Who I am, who she is, you have to be willing to do the work. Is the sex the same as when I was 21? No. Do we make equal money? No. I'm coming to the relationship with kids, she not. She want a kid, I'm going to have to get in alignment. We're going to have to go through a process together, and there's certain things that she wants me to do, and certain things I want her to do.
2 seconds.
And we have to get in alignment together.
Emotional, right? It's
Exactly.
an emotional responsibility. So you're not just being emotional, you're also being logical, and that's a problem that I keep missing with people.
Yes.
Everyone thinks on emotion for so long, and I sound crazy, but it's because I'm always in a logical mindset. Sex isn't that; it's not going to be a big deal for me.
Right.
It's just not. Right. It's not going to make me any money. I'm not one of those girls.
Right.
So I get, I just want.
Don't make me start. You said sex is not a big thing to you. So you say you want to get married or something, but your husband like, hey, he's a very sexually active person. You want to have sex every so often. So question answer. The 6 month rule. So say you dating a man, you not giving, y'all not having sex for 6 months, but the time y'all do have sex and it's trash to you, what do you do?
Bubba, baby.
So you just
Are there limitations sexually in non-committed relationships versus relationships?
True. Say again? What's the question?
You want me to repeat it?
Yeah, please.
Everybody will take that. Y'all just want to hear me say.
We love it.
Come on, Dad. Okay. Are there limitations sexually in non-committed relationships versus committed relationships? Let's have a conversation.
I think it should be, because depending on who you are, when you sleep with a person, your expectations are different than men's expectations are. So for myself personally, I can't sleep around without certain expectations. So I have learned to take what men say up front, what they want, what they don't want, and take that into consideration before I start sleeping with a person. Because we will sleep with a person thinking, oh, maybe I can change their mind. Maybe I can change their outlook on things. But in reality, they told you from day one, I ain't looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for this.
Believe them.
You better believe that.
Yeah.
So when you sleep with them, just know it's just what it is.
Absolutely.
Because they made it clear from day one that they don't want anything other than sex. So if you allow yourself to fall into that situation, it is just what it is.
But you know what? They gonna put that man on stage.
I don't know.
Say it again. Hold on.
But it's playing though. It's staying with playing.
Say it again.
Staying with playing.
I don't believe that that's true. When a guy has to be mentally, be in a mental state of mind to be in a relationship. If he's not there, it doesn't matter how good the sex is, no matter what you do, how you do it. He's gonna do what the hell he wants to do.
He is 100% correct, but the definition of state.
Y'all didn't even answer the question.
Hold on, let's give Terry the floor.
I ain't trying to bring out my inner freak or nothing, but I'm just saying y'all didn't answer the question. The question was, are there limitations, or should there be limitations?
I said yes.
But you didn't give a reason. But y'all pretty much started talking about something else.
What do you think?
I think,
go ahead.
yeah, it definitely should be some limitations.
Yes.
Because me personally, if you ain't my girl, it's gonna be some things that we not gonna do. So you can go off and go tell somebody and say, if you mad at me, I licked his, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Because some people do want to say, hey, I'm going to give it my all. You know what I'm saying? Some people do feel that way. And then some people are like, okay, well, I only going to do this until I get to this level. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm gonna propose another question. Okay. Maybe. Is there a ring in the box? Okay, no, let's stay here. Let's stay focused.
Yeah, let's stay right
I want to
here.
say something on this.
We're in the vein on this one. Let's stay here.
Okay, so then I'm gonna hit another vein, and I'm gonna ask: have you ever been with someone that was so kinky it drove you away?
No, baby. Let's go to the thing.
Come on with it then.
I'm going to say this. No, baby.
I'm going to say that I have never been with someone that is so kinky that it's going to drive me away. But I will say that I do have limitations on my kink. And if my kink includes some things that makes me question him as a man.
What does that mean?
His sexuality.
Elaborate.
Okay, say that word.
Okay, so if those things include things that make me question his sexuality, then hell to the yes. I'm gone. Because for me personally, and I'm not saying that this is for anyone else, but for me personally, I would prefer my man to be 100% heterosexual. I'm not into women, and I would prefer that he was not into men or anything close to that. So if I'm getting any of those inclinations from our bedroom behavior,
I think that's messed up.
I'm pretty sure
Because you're doing it with him.
I'm not going to ask you to do it, but if you did it,
You ain't going to stop.
Like I was saying though, if there's things that are happening in our private time that makes me believe that maybe, he's into some activities that I am not okay with, then I will most definitely give him the juices and
Sex is Pandora's box.
Yes, it is.
Sure is.
it is.
When you have sex with somebody, and then you have multiple sex partners, you pick up something from over here. You say, "I like that."
Mm-hmm.
So the first time that we have sex, and I think I'm almost there. I mean, hey, grab this, or twist this, or do this, and that's coming based off of experience,
prior relationship.
Yeah.
But that still has nothing to do with me feeling like whatever you've learned in that previous and that prior relationship now means that you eventually, if all these things keep going, then me as a woman is not going to be sufficient for you. Because you keep going to these places that me as a woman I'm not able to provide to you. Unless, of course, I start adding all these, like,
Let me tell you the
random.
This is the problem.
Dildos.
You want your man to be reserved?
Right.
No, what's
For
for you?
you, this is the problem right here. When you start dating, when you start having sex, you start to have a bag, and you start throwing all these things
In the trick bag.
in the bag.
Yeah.
I start throwing love, trust, sex, kink, cook, clean. You start throwing all these things in the bag, and when you start dating somebody, you fumble around in the bag trying to figure out what you're gonna pull out to impress that person because that's about who you are.
Exactly.
That's simple as that.
Yeah, but
And
who you are is making me believe that you
All of it
are
comes
a
into play.
homosexual and not necessarily a heterosexual or a bisexual, which is not a problem for others.
You are not from here as much as everybody else is, so down here it's like still kind of, like Cali, they still doing that shit.
Oh yeah, because
you know what I mean?
my teacher.
So that perspective is
It's just saying my perspective is different.
But you know what? Let me say this, and let me bring it back. Hey, simmer down. I want to kind of piggyback on something that you said, and I think the men should know this because you mentioned that you don't really feel comfortable having sex before 6 months, and I get it, and I respect it, and I feel that way that you do because let me say this. With men, when you penetrate a woman, you are going inside of her. Do you understand? And then you are pulling out of her. The only thing that we're doing, we are receiving. Do you understand? So every time you enter in us and you pull out, you're pulling something from me. And I think as women, it is so important to really, really watch and gauge who you decide to be intimate with because they're taking something from you, and so many people cannot take so much from you.
I don't like the fact that y'all say this energy is one-sided.
No, hold on.
I don't
That's
like
true.
this.
Very
I
one-sided.
real deal don't like that, like the way that you present it. I understand what you're saying, but it devalues who we are as men.
So
You're basically saying that we're not pulling nothing.
no. That still
Where are you taking What are you taking from it?
Because hold on, let me finish. What you're saying? Okay, let me say this. God made us different. Do you understand?
Right.
We all know how a woman was created from the rib, right? Okay? So you're always going to pull more from us than we can pull from you. So when I made that comment, I was not trying to be biased. What I was saying as women, because of the way you are created, and I'm not saying that in a negative or a dogmatic way, I'm just saying that you give us something and you also take something. We don't have that strong gift. God did give us that gift. He blessed you with that gift. Men, that's why we love you and we respect you. So what I'm saying, to me, in my opinion, and some women may agree or disagree, is that you have to be mindful about who you lay with, who you're giving your energy, who you're mixing your spirits with. But I didn't say it to put it in a negative way as you guys are just takers.
No, we're not
Okay,
taking
that wasn't my
absolutely. We're not taking
And
that.
Tamara, I want to say, you
But we do
said
it
pulling.
also.
You said when we sleep, when they sleep with us, they pull from us. Also, too, when they sleep with us, they insert. A lot of times, have you ever found yourself, ladies, acting crazy, doing stuff that's out of character? Whenever you connect with somebody sexually, it's an exchange going on. You're exchanging spirits. So you done slept with 26 different women. All of a sudden, we sleep together. I'm over here, girl. You see his car over there, or I'm checking your phone when you sleep with the face recognition, stuff like that. That's for somebody else. That's for somebody else.
So this is the same thing I'm saying. Don't put that all on the men reciprocating bad energy towards you. It goes both ways.
Understood.
We get that.
Hey, so D, I'm gonna say this though, like for real, so Tamara said, men are pulling something from women, but at the same time, women are pulling something from men. And so what we have to really understand about life is that reality is we always pull it from each other. So that it goes back again when I started. It's about the expectation. When you decide to connect and allow that man to insert in you, it is like a mutual agreement. Hands down.
Can I hear from Rib and T?
That's why we shouldn't have sex on the first night.
Rib and T will burning me up.
Oh, doesn't want to
I'm still stuck on the 6 month rule. I'm sorry.
We still there.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So what do you have to
single.
It's not
Then
an
you crash
actual
again,
season.
so you wasting your time.
No.
Elaborate. 2 months still like 6 days. 2 months still like 6 days.
Break it down.
So don't feel you stuck on the 6 months. And I say 6 months, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's earlier than that. But here's the thing. I need to know you. I can't know you in 30 days. I can't know you in 60 days. I give myself a 6 month limit because I'm trying to just get to know who I'm sleeping with.
Right.
I'm not gonna exchange the
Well,
he doesn't want any emotional connection.
What are you doing in 6 months?
I'm getting to know you. You taking me out of
I'm not
dates.
talking about getting to know you. I'm talking about yourself.
Bell ringing.
Can I get 15 seconds?
I'm gonna, okay, how about I'm gonna give you
10.
10 seconds,
go,
and then I'm gonna
go.
give Brad 10 seconds, and then we have to go to the next
Right.
question.
So you say 6 months, right? Okay, so it's relative to time. What if you're spending a lot of time in a short period of time with a person versus that 6 months you're seeing them once a week or once every 2 weeks? It's different. It's subjective to who you are, what kind of time you got. So you fall in love with a person in a matter of X amount of hours, but if you spend a few days
He can't
together.
in 4 months then.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's
Break it down. Break it down.
3 seconds.
I'm done.
Hold on, Brad.
Hey,
you
Rev,
gonna say something?
6.
Yes, Rev.
Sex is the act of love.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so no mistake. Yes, it's gonna definitely have an impact on man and woman.
Absolutely.
As it was supposed to. So with that said, if you have sex, that is the act of love.
Amen.
So that means that, because I can't put a time, God, you already know when you have your time, say God will prove you wrong.
Right.
So I can't put a time on when it's time to get it in.
Exactly.
Okay? Because when it's a time to get it in, it's time to get it in.
Can I ask you a question? So you're Rev, just for your own, I just want to know, how do you feel about sex before marriage? Because I was under the impression that maybe that was your ideology.
Here's
to
the-
have
here's the-
sex in marriage.
Here's the thing that I'm saying, okay? Because I was given the name Rev because of my perspectives, not because I am a
Actual
ordained.
reverend.
Right.
Okay.
And so my perspective is a little different. It's because I just try to look at the word and in a sense that's like you said, I'm just being logical right now. I'm not even trying to be deep religiously. I'm just saying, before you participate in that relationship or in sex, what we're talking about, it should be because of love. And that right there in itself would change the whole game in our ability to
3
connect.
seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw your hand up.
That was so when you asked me the question of you're married and your man wants to have sex. Okay, it's one thing to show your man some love. We can make love. But when it's an everyday, it's every night, you're bored, you don't have anything to do. I've had that where a man is like, oh, yeah, like what you doing in the middle of the night, like I'm sleeping. You can't just keep, if it's an everyday thing, you're not born. You need somebody to
That's what I'm thinking.
and y'all, if you can't control your emotions, if you can't control your emotions, that's what I'm saying.
So then I have
to get all these classes, you get no sleep, and you're just
Ain't nobody hit it right yet. Ain't nobody hit it right.
I have a question. Hey, let's simmer down. Okay. So this is gonna be a very interesting statement. I feel like I'm gonna get a whole bunch of energy from this right side. But the question is, who do you love more? The one you lie to, or the one that you tell the truth?
You care more about the right. So
think about that question.
I'm saying in the way of there's two sides to this, right? So the first side is when you lie to somebody, you actually taking into consideration of their feelings.
Yeah.
And that means you care about them. But if I tell you the truth and don't give a fuck how you react, don't care how you act, then that's me showing you I don't care.
Exactly.
And so it's only because of life. Like when we tell y'all the truth a whole bunch of times and we notice that it's not working, we're gonna be like, all right, well, I was out till 3, but I'm gonna say I made it home at 2. Because I might have been talking to Los for a whole hour after the show was done. And I'm getting to the house at 3:30. I'm like, damn, I'm about to have this long ass conversation for 30 minutes about why I'm getting home at 3. This is a real life situation happening, by the way. Right? But the whole extra part of all of that is like now Hey, look at you talking shit. I mean, stuff. But now it's like now I don't even want to have that issue at all. So if it gets too serious,
that you're going to be late.
Can you just good, but I don't know the details.
Let's let Shar speak.
It depends on what you've done in the past. You got caught cheating, you have to explain yourself and check in.
First, I've never cheated on her, but on her specifically when that was in that situation. But the whole thing is maybe that's the energy, maybe that's that energy exchange for me pulling other women that have been in my life that are crazy, right? Yes. Experiences, whatever. But I'm still a DJ. Everybody comes up into the DJ booth and shows love. Girls can stand at the DJ booth all the time. I was in trouble so many times. Y'all don't understand this. It was a lot. So now I'm like, yo, if you even give me a hint of that, I'm like, nah, we good, but I can't give you that much because if we go that far,
that's what happens and it's a part of your career.
Well, sometimes you're trying to figure that shit out still.
That's why I want date no DJ.
So tell me this. Okay, because Los, I know what your profession is. Well, you have several professions. Entrepreneur. Controversial, right? But we know the most controversial is the promotions, right? Dre, we know you are an entrepreneur as well, and we know that there's promotions on your side. So I really want to get an answer from both of you on, do you feel like your profession has put a strain on your relationship?
For me personally, yes. In times past, it has, and I've even gone into relationships saying, listen, during this time of the year, from this time to this time, I'm going out, I'm hanging out, I'm online all the time, I'm DMing people, I'm doing all these things, and I put all that information up front because this is my second full-time job, and some people can't get past what I'm actually doing. Oh, you just online playing? No, I'm online checking sales. I'm online inviting people, and you have to have a personal connection. You just can't put something into the atmosphere and say, listen, I'm gonna throw a party, I'm gonna put it on Instagram, and everybody's gonna show up.
That means she's not the woman for you.
That's for marketing. That's what that's marketing, all that. So you have to find somebody that is confident and believes in what you're doing and believes in your brand and believe in what you're saying that you're doing, you're actually doing, and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else for me to say.
There's nothing else to say.
I want to add in on this if I can.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna go off of my personal experience, and I know this goes against the guy code, but at the end of the day, see, I was a personal trainer, so I have to go through this almost every day. Right. And I've had some bad clients, and I ain't gonna lie to you. And I'm not gonna say I ain't never
smashed.
Right, because I have. But the thing about it is, we can do things to make our partner feel comfortable about what we're doing. Yes. And I didn't do that. There was a lot of times where, my ex-wife would call me knowing that I'm trained, especially when she knows that I'm training one of the pretty women, and she would call me or text me, and I don't even respond. We could respond. Some of us guys, we just choose not to.
To play games.
But see, with me, I'm transparent. Like, so I put everything on the table up front. You feel me? Correct. So they ain't understanding how you out doing something, you coming in at 4 or 5 in the morning. But I've been in the Waffle House with all the homies. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bring me something.
It ain't that I was doing
No.
The sale real grand on the grand. Until you fall in love.
Can we get a shot? You can do all of those things. You can hang out with the homies at the Waffle House. You can be training the bad girl from Instagram or whatever. But it's the things that you do in response to that shows a woman how you really feel about her. Exactly. You can bring her some waffles. You can let her know. You can FaceTime her. You do those things when you care.
3 seconds.
But when you don't really care, you're not gonna respond, and you're not gonna send a text message. You're not gonna bring no waffles.
Come to me when you can.
I want to take it to Crystal. I want to get your thoughts. Yeah, I did. Just, we're doing this. Yeah, I want you to.
So, real story, we were just sitting here talking about that. Okay. Nick, Lowe's, I don't know if T-Will was involved, and I really wasn't happy with Nick's answer, but I was saying in regards to being in that industry, sometimes, like Drake, really good at it. Day party, his fiance was there taking money, they're supporting. Yes. So that means that you're good with that.
Okay. Right person.
right person.
Right
So Mo said that as well. He said, "Oh, I have no issues with my girlfriend, fiance, whatever, coming out and supporting me, but she doesn't need to rush me." And Nick was like, "Well, she doesn't really have to come."
Let me put it like this though. I'll DJ like 3 shows in one day, right? You're not coming to all 3 and hanging out with me and not rushing me. No, I know that. But even if I did 1 show, I've been in a moment where Los will attest to this. We were outside talking for like 3 hours, right, after the show. Ended up at 2, it was 5 in the morning. My phone's blowing up. Some dude just pulled up on us. Both got, well, I ain't gonna talk about all the things that's happening. But the whole issue of this is we're out here handling a situation for somebody and we're having a conversation about the next party. But I can't even have that because now I'm getting cussed out at the house.
But I
I'm not
can see why Nick is getting cussed out.
Yeah, so I'm out till 5 in the morning with Los. Right?
I would like to get your answer.
Oh no, I just wanted to
elaborate on that.
And ask the panel as a whole, at what point do we owe somebody something?
Exactly.
I mean, you
can't. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. Is it rent?
Yes.
No. Is it sex? No. So when we can communicate as adults and say, "You owe me this," which doesn't have
the truth.
I just believe if you're in a committed relationship and you've been together for some time, you owe each other that explanation. Even if you're going to be late. I mean, it's not that big of a deal a lot of times.
You're courting.
I didn't do that part.
The misunderstanding comes in when there's no communication, in my opinion.
I think you owe, the owe comes from when you sincerely care about that person.
That's right.
When he cares about you, he's going to do those
matter
things.
of
Don't
respect.
doubt.
It's a matter of
There's no
respect.
question about it. He's going to see you in Texas as I'm chilling.
Okay.
Some men look at it as checking in.
That's not necessarily.
But
you need to make sure you're okay.
I think females have a responsibility as well. So if you know that your man is in that industry, and you've been with him 12 months, 24 months, you know his schedule. I don't think that he shouldn't have to text you at 3:30 when you're asleep.
I'm not
anyway.
saying to check in, but so many things are happening. You
In
can at
this
least
world,
say, "Hey,
I'm
I'm still out. I'm hanging out with the
Oh
boys."
my, that did happen at 2 something. But
That's
that's not 5 hit. Shit, we was down there talking.
Let me say this. If a woman has an issue or a trust issue with a man, it doesn't matter if he's working a nightlife job or if he's working a 9-to-5 job, because the same way that I can be in a meeting at 11 o'clock in the afternoon and you call and I see you straight to voicemail, you call me back again, I see you straight to voicemail, I'm actually handling business. So it doesn't matter if I handle business by day or by night, if I'm handling business, I'm doing what I do to generate revenue for us.
I just want to say this.
You're going to be upset by day or by night anyway.
Really, guys, like that at the end of the day, to have a strong relationship, no matter if you're dating, committed, whatever you're doing, communication is the
That goes back to my first time when we first started. Y'all talking about trust. It's hard for me to trust somebody who don't trust me. You know, so if you don't trust me, I don't trust you. You know what I'm saying? So when I say I don't trust nothing, because I don't trust me.
And that's why I was in trouble. You see why I was in trouble.
Exactly.
Okay, so are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. We're wrapping this up. We're down to 2 questions, so we want to make this good. We want to make it good. Okay, welcome back. We are on part 4. This is the last part of this segment, and it has been amazing. How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna ask a question, and we're gonna lead this off with the women because we're gonna lead it off with the women because I'm really curious to know what their answers are gonna be, and then I hope that some men can add some closure to this. So the question is: have you had positive representation of what a positive relationship looks like? And if you have or if you haven't, explain how that has affected you in your dating life.
I've had a little bit of both.
Okay.
Sometimes you get good aspects, bad aspects, and you carry like the good stuff. Like I'm not gonna go below that, but also I know what I want and will put up with in the future.
Okay. Okay.
For me, because I got into the dating scene so late and dated for 17 years, I think it was a little bit different for me. Dating has been totally different because what I saw for 17 years is totally different than what I saw once I started dating again, if that makes sense. So yeah, totally different.
So hold on, because I have a question. So this is what I want to ask. In the room, how many women have had a father in their life as an example of what it is supposed to look like?
A relationship, dating?
A relationship. Yeah.
Just being in a relationship.
No, I'm saying having a father in your life to show you what it is supposed to be, what a man is supposed to treat you like.
Yeah.
Well, I think that, so growing up, my parents divorced early on. So I didn't see exactly what a relationship was supposed to look like as far as the man coming home, the man going to work, mama having food on the table, seeing my daddy smack my mom on the butt, them flirting and stuff like that. I didn't see it in that aspect. I didn't grow up knowing what a relationship looks like. However, my father did instill in me that a man is supposed to do X, Y, and Z, even though he didn't do it. So, yes and no.
I'm the opposite of that. My parents have been together for over 4 years.
Mine too.
So I've experienced it, but just because I experienced it doesn't mean it was the best experience. You see what I'm saying? It can be, it's a balance. You know, I see good things that I would love for my mate to do, and I see crazy things that I wouldn't dare accept, you know, that what my mom accepts, you know, but again, it's different times, different strokes for different folks, but it's balanced.
Can I chime in on that? So, you know, go ahead. I'm always a gentleman.
Oh, he said he's always a gentleman.
We gonna applaud that, yo.
It's time.
No, my father, my parents are still married. They'll be married 42 years in August. One thing I have learned that my father loves my mother. And I've been hearing that it's very important for, I don't know if y'all guys will agree, for a man to love a woman more than that woman loves him. And I've experienced things in my parents' marriage and stuff. I've seen the ups and downs. But one thing I do understand that my father loves my mother, and sometimes in relationships I've had, I've loved that man more than he loved me.
And ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but there can be something wrong with that. If I love you, I love you, faults and all. There's no flaws with me, and maybe that's a flaw I have in me. But if I'm accepting you, I'm accepting all of you. But if you see one flaw in me, and then the deal's gone, it's broken, then it's not right. It's not fair.
No, it's you can't let, if you love hard, that's just who you are. And you can't never change, don't change, because what you would start doing is putting up a front and acting as someone that you're really not. So if your thing is I love hard, well, that way what you're doing, you're able to weed out the people that can't accept love the way that you give love. And one day it's going to be a guy that's going to come around and he's going to be able to receive the love that you give, and he's also going to be able to give that love right back to you. But you can never change who you are just because, you know.
I feel that 100% makes sense, because then you'll be able to understand who's worthy of that quote unquote flaw you say that you have. Who's worthy of you to love them that way, because they're gonna love you the same kind of way. Like I was raised by my grandparents, and they were 100% in love, even till the day that they died. They used to kiss and do things that we didn't want to know, but they did. But my grandfather showed me exactly how a man is supposed to treat a woman. Even in his older age, he went blind, but he still was the man of the house, and he still was a man and taught me how I was to be treated as a man. But my dad, even though he was around, he was the complete opposite. Like, he didn't do any of those things. So I got both of those experiences on how to be treated and then what not to accept from a man. And my dad, in his lap, has shown me what is worthy of my love and what is worthy of, because I love that way too. So
you have to have the discernment to know when enough is enough and when it's time.
Oh, 100%. And I learned that from my grandparents.
Okay.
And those representations don't always have to be like your father or your grandfather. I mean, because look at social media, that's a representation. Reality TV, that's a representation. Because a lot of women look at what these women on reality shows are getting from their man and expect their man to do that. And all of that is really fake to me. So you can't expect me to do what you see that man on TV do, because I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I do. And my marriage, you know what I'm saying, personally, it did kind of go bad because reality TV, I was acting up because of what I seen on TV, and I thought that, hey, I wanted what I was seeing on TV. And that's just a fantasy. So you gotta distinguish reality from what's not reality.
But let me say one thing. I gotta take this. No, I gotta take this. Brother, go ahead.
So I'm not so spiritual. So really, man, it goes back to the basics. At the end of the day, whenever you date, you set those expectations. You're not dating your father. You're not dating your grandparents. You really dating the person that you're trying to build with. It goes back to, once again, the expectation, the communication. And when you don't have that communication piece, that's the breakdown of it. You know what I'm saying? I've been in relationships where there wasn't no communication. I've been in relationships where I didn't have expectations. But I've been in good relationships where I had communication, the expectations, and that relationship where we build. So when you have those three things and you start connecting, then you start growing. That's where we get it from, because we always want to say, hey, I gotta do this and do that, but at the end of the day, it's all about that mutual agreement. And once you get that mutual agreement, then you start growing together.
Okay.
Communication.
All this comes back to emotional baggage. By you dating multiple people throughout your life, you build up emotional baggage. And until you go unpack some of that baggage and you go sit with someone and really get to the core of everything that you have going on, your emotional baggage is always going to build up. And with build up is going to come resentment and all these other things. Until you unpack all this stuff, that's the way it's going to be. I was raised by a single father, and he taught me, listen, if you're going to date, this is the way you're going to date. You're not going to take no gifts. You're not going to be doing this. These are all things that you're going to be able to do, and these are the things you need to be able to do for yourself. And you have to be willing to put in the time, put in the work to make it happen, because it's not going to happen overnight. I'm telling you, for what I know for a fact, it's not going to happen overnight. And you have to be willing to put in the time. To if you want a different result, you want to start doing things different.
Okay.
Just really quick, we got to understand, as this room has to understand, you can be the perfect love, and they not be able to receive it. We got to understand that too. We got to acknowledge that fact.
And there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, you got to understand.
Don't change yourself.
Yeah, there is a form of compromise and communication and commitment, but you got to understand you can do everything right and they not be ready.
I think that's why Tamara asked the question. I think that's exactly where that question stems from, because it goes back, as I said when we first opened, it kind of goes back to childhood. What you saw is shaping everything. That's baggage. You know what I mean? You had only your father raising you. That's not how it's ordained to be. You're supposed to have a mother and a father in the house. Now, it happens like that for some of us. You know what I mean? But because of what you didn't see, it shapes how you are now.
Absolutely.
We are what we know. So we are a product of our environment.
So I have a question. This every woman in this room wants to know the answer to this question. How do you know when she is the one?
The one.
The one. We want to know.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Well,
You over there.
don't think we'll be here if we do that answer.
Right. That's the wild part.
Right. But no, the reason why I asked that is because all of us have had experience in dating, right?
Yes.
And for some of us, maybe you have had a great woman or a great man that maybe things didn't work out, maybe something that you did. So the question is, sometimes I think we may have that person more than one time. Because so many times it's like the one. But what happens if you've had several the ones?
Well, in most relationships, you have to grow into it. You feel me? Like, I feel like you have to grow into the relationship. It ain't about waiting on the storm to pass. Sometimes you have to dance in the rain.
How old are we? How long are you gonna be growing?
babies of the universe.
Until you're 50?
I mean, it takes time.
I'm just saying, it does take time, but as an adult male, when do you decide that, hey, I'm gonna stop living this teenage? I got all this time for me to grow into this relationship. That's not fair to a woman. That's not fair because you know that you don't want her. At the end of the day, you know what you want. If you want her, you're gonna make her yours. But if you don't want her, you're gonna play around these games.
Because everybody don't understand the difference.
Well, it's up to you to make her understand that.
I mean, what you supposed to do? I mean, what?
We talking.
Okay, so
we're talking
gonna
natural law, universal law, and societal standards. And everybody that you deal with don't understand the three. So we are dealing from different perspectives.
Exactly.
We gotta know who we dealing with to find that answer. Period. You gotta know.
And yourself.
You gotta know.
Yourself.
Because it's gonna be rooted. It's gonna always go back to sex. It goes back to sex from one part or the other.
And it also goes back to just knowing.
Monogamy.
But who mentioned the C's? Who's the ones who mentioned
What are they?
Communication.
Price.
And communication.
But when you love someone, you don't have to worry about ABC.
Hey.
Right. At the end of the day,
But you can love anything.
So I have a question. Hold on, everyone. Let's bring it back. So let's just say that you have found the one, okay? So mentally, emotionally, physically, she's there for you. He's there for you. Why do you cheat?
Because you're not really into her.
I'm gonna say this.
She's not your soulmate.
I feel like a man is always ready. Women go through women issues. They go through periods. They go through, 7 days, 6 days, 5 days. So a man is always ready. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then when he comes, she says she don't want nobody coming in, poking on her too.
Can we give Drake for it real quick?
Let me say this from my own personal standpoint. I just got engaged 6 months ago, and I personally had to come to the decision of I want to do something completely different. I personally want to do something different. I knew I was dating, I was doing this, I was just living the absolute best, but I knew that wasn't conducive for my life and for all the things I wanted, because the things I was doing, it wasn't helping me to become a better person. So when my fiance and we started dating, I told her, listen, this is who I am. And this is how I am perceived, and this is what I like to do, and this is all. And she's like, you know what? I just want to be your girl, and that's it. And she's like, I appreciate you having hustles and you like to make things happen, but just be open and honest with me. And what I had to do was, I had to put my trust, I had to put my love, and I had to put everything else that I held close to me on the line. So what I did was, I made the commitment. I said, listen, first off, I said, listen, I'm going to buy you a house. I went and bought her a house. She moved in 30 days later. She came home from work. She walks in from work. I'm standing there with a ring on one knee.
But how did you know she was the one?
I'm going through life with her. I'm making her the one. No one is going to send you an email or a text and say, listen, she is the one. I made the conscious decision to say, listen, we supposed to go through this life thing together.
It ain't one thing.
It's not one thing. Because if you would have asked, if you would have asked me months ago, I would say, listen, whoever I date, she got to be cook. My fiance, she don't cook. I cook, but she can clean. You know, it's all these things. I had this blueprint of everything that my wife was going to look like and do, and she's the polar opposite of it. It's just like, you know, I want my wife to wear tight jeans and Gucci bags and all this. I bought a Gucci bag. She didn't even carry it. It's just like,
I'll carry it.
It's like, but things like that, it don't matter. It don't matter if anything to me is.
If she completes you.
She complete me. I don't care about it. She don't care about it. She's like, I got it. I appreciate it. It's cool. It's cool. And the thing is, the person that we think, the thing is, the person that we think we want to be with, it's gonna be completely different from what is going to be presented to you.
But you have to be open to.
Okay.
You got to be open to.
Hold on for a second, Terry. Did you have something to say?
Yes, he do.
Say what's on your mind.
My main thing is, you know, everybody sounds good what we all saying.
Correct.
But you know what we all saying, everybody ain't the same. So everybody not on the spiritual level. And me personally, I just tell it like it is sometimes. And a lot of times it is, I'm not gonna be honest. And everybody don't want a relationship. I'm not single because I can't find a girl or I can't make a relationship work. I'm single because I just like women. I like to have sex. I like to go out. I'm 33 years old. Some people may say, "Dang, when you gonna stop?" When I get ready to stop. I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids. I make good money. Drive a nice car. I do what I want to do. I want to do that. I'm not searching for nothing.
You just want to have sex with
That's
random
exactly what I want to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. But my thing is, if you don't want to do that with me, you don't have to do that.
And
There's 3 billion people out here in this world. If you don't want to give it to me, I'm not gonna get it.
The way you looking at him is an issue that we're trying to get.
Right.
Be real. She's like, no, don't be real.
No, repeat what you just said because that was real though.
That's an issue.
It's an issue. That's what we're saying.
Because I'm not.
You discuss it and we being real.
We're just being real. I'm not trying to holler at you, so it shouldn't be an issue.
Right.
If I was trying to holler at you, then you can say, I don't want to be with you because you're doing all of this. But if I'm not trying to holler at you, you got to respect what I want to do and how I feel. Because there's a lot of women that will give me the coochie when I want to give the coochie.
I'm just saying.
So are you saying you're just living your life for you right now?
For right, that's what I'm doing. Living my life for me. I don't want a woman. I don't want to
When I was 33 years old, you said you're 33. When I was 33, I was doing the exact same thing. I was waking up and be like, damn, who are you?
Right.
It was those type of nights.
Just smell up, bro.
It was like dead ass. It was like those type of nights that you have, but
I'm just saying.
it is what it is.
If I would say the same thing, I'll be considered a hoe though.
Yes.
If I would say the same thing, I'm gonna be considered a hoe.
Hey, he considered a hoe.
That's bullshit.
You gotta take this double standard because you bear life. And you can't. We gotta get into that.
Hey, let's ring the bell. Nick, did you have something to say?
Well, I was going to say this. In the beginning, we said there was a double standard that we have to understand as men and women, that women come from the rib and that y'all receive this energy, right? There's another double standard, which is he can go and have as much sex as he wants, and he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care that there's no love involved in it or whatever. I'm not speaking for you, though, not like that. Just saying in the sense of like, yeah, he wants to have his fun. He was married at one point. He was hurt. You break up with somebody, your heart is still ripped apart, even if you're the one that breaks up with somebody. So you gotta understand, this is a healing process for men. Sometimes it's going out being a niggas, or it's, go to the church and get your prayer on, and you're like, I'm gonna be celibate. But I'm just saying, that's the distance of two different sides. You gotta just accept somebody for.
I have a question. Crystal, your thoughts, and Bree after Crystal. It kind of blew you away.
Yeah, what's the question again?
We gonna come back.
We were kind of replying to what he said.
You having sex without a ring.
No, I don't. He's single.
So is that the number one thing in relationships?
But the problem is for most females, we feel like we can change that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Even though, like you said, he's being upfront, and we feel like there's a possibility.
But is he? He's on this panel speaking that, but is he literally telling females?
Exactly.
No, I'm not telling you the truth. I'm not telling you the truth.
But you not lying either. Hold on, son. Y'all take your face.
I'm gonna be right here.
I don't care nothing about anybody, so I'm no problem with everybody. It gives them a chance to deal with me or not. They do, they don't. Whatever. Hey, nice to meet you.
That's my question.
Everybody's different. I'm not gonna tell the truth.
It's not fair.
That's not fair.
Life is not fair.
No, people don't shit.
But what if we get your survey?
Come on with it.
Okay, at the end of the day, this just speaks to a deeper issue.
Yeah, thank you.
And everyone is different, but we already know. So,
Y'all looking at us like we
at the end of the day, we all can admit that we want to be loved. We all can admit that we want to be loved. We want to be appreciated.
Okay, hold on.
So,
hold on. What were you about to say?
No, he's saying that he doesn't have any issues, which I think it does stem from an issue to say that you can be transparent on this panel, but not to a specific individual.
No, that just
So you
means
selling
that,
drinks?
that just means that I do what I have to do to get what I want sometimes.
Hold on. She made a good point because we discussed this earlier.
The lies is what brings out the crazy. A lot of women are willing to do. Sometimes when you're honest with a woman up front, some of us are down with this. I mean, I'm just being honest. But when you lie to us and sell us a fake ass dream, and then we find out that everything that you've been doing and saying all of this time is a lie, we're ready to kick you out.
So y'all not selling me a fake dream? Y'all not selling me a fake dream when all y'all pictures are
Hey, hold on. It's getting out of control and we're getting ready to wrap it up.
Sir, how many crazy people have out here?
I bet you took that shot.
You know what's really crazy though? There's polar opposites, right? Polar opposites. 6 minutes he's in there, 6 months she in there. But they can have the same result. So what are we really worried about? What are you talking about? If it's dick trash, you just said he was gone. So what you saying? If she ready to get down, she ready to get down. It's polar opposites.
But she ready to get down based on his lies.
Right.
Or not.
He ain't lying.
He's lying.
That ain't what he's doing in the moment. Y'all trying to manipulate when he
said he
Everybody simmer down.
Okay, hold on. One question.
Okay.
If she doesn't say she's waited 6 months and it happens in 4 months, right? Instead of 6. Is it now a lie or is it you got lucky?
She lied.
First of all, if I'm gonna be 100%,
it's the other side of the coin.
Nick, I'm gonna be 100% honest right now. Now, a lot of times girls say, "Oh, I'm gonna make you wait 6 months." Because at the end of the day, a real man will stay if he wants you. But sometimes you can weed out the fakers.
In that 6 months though,
You
in that 6 months,
free.
are you dating like exclusively or are you dating like he got some other girls to go on dates with? In that 6 months.
The 6 month rule is the first lie that they ever tell us.
They
say you gotta wait 6 months. They just trying to say it's That's it. That's the first 6 month rule is the first lie y'all gonna tell us. Right or wrong?
Yeah, there you go.
Right or wrong?
First lie you tell.
Can I ask a quick question? Is monogamy for marriage?
No.
Okay then.
This whole panel is supposed to be for us to be telling the truth.
Okay.
Everybody
What are we arguing about?
We're not beating you up.
Wait a minute though. I want to say this to Terry's defense. Hey, everybody
everybody simmer down for a minute. I do want to say this to your defense. I respect what you said, and I don't think that it's a bad thing that you're living your best life. There's no stipulations on the way we want to live our life, and I think sometimes we can be a little judgmental and a little closed-minded. So I commend you for speaking your truth. No, I commend him for speaking his truth. It's not lying. I think
he lied. That's what he said.
But here's the thing. He said that he's gonna do what he's gonna do. He's gonna sleep with whoever he's gonna sleep with. At least he's saying it. There are some people that feel the same way. They just didn't say it. He said it.
But the thing about it is you lead people on to get at.
Are you leading them on? Hold on, clarify. I got a question for you.
I have led women on before, but like I said, y'all mad at me because y'all done had a person that done y'all like I know.
Just said every female can relate to a dude that did them or y'all felt like he
We've
did.
done it. You've been done that way
Watch
for
this.
sure.
On the flip side of it, for him to say what he said or to say what he says to get what he wants, is that right? It ain't right. We all know it ain't right. But at the same time,
why you have to lie to get what you want?
the women
Let me say something. Let me just say something because I want to move on from this. We can't be contradictive. We're saying that he may be lying, he may be telling the truth, but if there is any woman on this panel that have taken money from a man or taken a gift from a man and you did not want to be with him like that, you went out on a date with him and let him spend his money on you, then your behavior is no different than him because you're leading him on as well. So we have to be honest. We have to be honest. That's honest.
They don't even have to work as hard. Sometimes you just have to tell the truth and get their ass wanted
Sean, did you have anything to say?
For men or for the women, if you don't have the intention of being with somebody, don't accept shit from nobody. Because if I give you something, I'm giving you a gift.
But you want something from me, like
No. Listen. Don't monetize your time. Don't monetize your sex. Don't monetize nothing.
Your presence.
Don't monetize none of that. Because if you know I like you, and you like, I don't like you, Dre, then I come to you with a bag, a trip, and you accept it. That is giving me the next step of, she is interested.
Sometimes though, that's virtue. But what if I say, I'm gonna take this bag, but I still don't like you?
But listen, I say it's wrong on your part to accept it. Because if you accept it just because you like it. So listen, if you accept it, or if you give it to him, y'all both wrong. Y'all both wrong. Because what y'all doing is, if you accept a gift from a guy, you bring all his crazy.
Okay.
You bring all his crazy. You accept a gift.
So with that being said, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Let me thank everybody for coming out. We said we're gonna do 6 months, maybe 2 to 3 months,
2
because we
weeks.
definitely need to revisit this.
And hold on, y'all. Let me get my outro. Y'all don't let me get my outro out.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Okay. But this is what I wanted to accomplish for everyone. We do not have to agree with each other. Do you get what I'm saying? But what was important for me to bring us together was that we get a better understanding. So I hope that we all left, and I'm sure we have more questions, and if you're down for it, we're going to do it again. But I hope that we have a better understanding of one another so we know how to move forward. So again, thank you for tuning in, watching Jasmine Soiree. We'll see you soon.
Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine, and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the show.